Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre's Missionary album has dropped. It is the 20th studio album by American rapper Snoop Dogg, again produced by Dr. Dre. Complex shot a behind-the-scene video of Snoop and Dre working on parts of the album, and Snoop talks about how nobody produces like Dre. So let's watch this and then let's talk about the album a little bit. I got a couple questions.
Yeah, take it deeper. Built a legacy that you can't replace.
Okay. Let's take it deeper. Built a legacy that
you can't replace.
Okay.
Snoop's thing is his voice, his charisma, the way he puts words together.
Built a legacy that you can't replace.
Just need a better take.
I had to figure out a way to orchestrate that.
Back cooking up ether. Riding around with
Back cooking up ether.
Back cooking up ether.
Yeah, give me that.
With the season.
From how I say it to what I say to the way I say it to the projection of your vocals.
That wasn't it? The season.
No, you got to come back and say this word like this because your energy wasn't right.
Doing backflips.
I didn't believe you.
Okay.
I got you.
I used to say that all the time.
17 with a dream blowing smoke in the air.
I like that.
It's a major amount of trust going on both sides.
That's why I chose to work with him, because when I work with other producers, they get close, but they can't do what he do.
Has everybody here listened to the project?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well,
Oh, I'll speak for me. Yes, I have listened to the
yeah,
project.
I give it one stream. General questions is, how does it sound? Is this project a disappointment? Is it not a disappointment? Is it great? It's just general thoughts here. And
I'm
then
let Byron get his thoughts off his chest because he been eager to talk about this. So.
All right, tell me.
All right, so let me start off by showing love. You know what I mean? Dr. Dre is a legend. You know what I mean? Snoop is a legend. I'm glad I did come in here Friday.
Like fresh off a listen.
Yeah,
Because you was ready to go on Friday.
Oh yeah, but I gave it a couple more spins, man, and I've toned down my opinion initially. First time I heard it, I was like, no. I'm sorry. Then I went back and listened to it a couple times, and there's some stuff on the album. You know what I mean? It's a disappointment to me though. This is the third time in a row that Dre is disappointing me.
Okay, so
Twice this year.
Twice this year.
You talking about the Marsha Ambrosius album?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then Compton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like Compton.
Yeah,
Compton
was cool.
sounded overproduced to me.
I like Compton though. Compton was fire to me.
It was okay, but
Yeah, it's just okay. It's not what I expect from Dre. And I felt that same thing about here. When I first and foremost, when I heard that they were naming the album Missionary, I'm expecting greatness. You know what I mean? Just because doggy style. Yeah. I'm like, okay, they're going to give me something. They did give me something new. But is it on par with doggy style?
No.
Nothing
It
at all.
actually fits the title Missionary because if you talk about basics, then doggy style, the predecessor was raw and uncut. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
you could have raw, nasty missionary
you
too.
can, but it always ends up going to doggy style.
anyways.
So there's that, man.
I mean, I listened to it today. It started off pretty good. Like, I liked it initially, but the more songs that played, the more I saw that I was like kind of like ready to skip to the next one. Sounds very clean. Kind of sounded a bit dated in the sense that, like, I liked a lot of the production, but some of it I also didn't like. It also felt like it was playing on the idea of like trying to make a record that hits all the bases, like covers all the bases, like the standard record label industry album. Like, oh, I need one of these. I need one of these.
A weed song.
I need one of
this
these.
song.
Yeah. I don't think he needed to do that. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more raw, and it was just kind of bland to me, I guess. So
Yeah, I thought
I didn't hate it though.
I thought it was all right. It's kind of hard though, especially being a West Coast album coming off of that Kendrick. Kendrick has kind of dominated at least my stereo for the past 3 weeks now, 3-4 weeks.
I'll give you that, but I don't think that would adjust my opinion.
I wouldn't either, but I don't know. West Coast, in the past month, you've had Ice Cube,
Absol,
you've had Kendrick, and you've had Snoop and Dre, which was a very anticipated album. It's not a bad album, but it doesn't sound rushed. It's very clean. It has a lot of features on it. The playing time isn't very long. It's one of them things when you hear a Dr. Dre and Snoop album, we're the people that get excited about that type of stuff because we're used to.
We were there.
We were there when they were making magic at the beginning and kind of expecting more out of it than what it is. I don't think they really sold it like it was about to be this amazing project. I think it was just something that they wanted to do. And to me, it's not a bad project. Like, I think it has 16 tracks on it.
Yeah.
There is a good handful of joints on there that I'm cool with. There is another handful that I could do without.
Yeah.
But as far as production, level of production, Dre is he's still Dre. So it's like it's the same style of Dre. There's not a
as Mike would say, there's not an updated kit there.
There's not an updated kit, but his kit is very good. But in the same token, right now it's like I kind of want to hear something a little different from you. You know,
and that was kind of my criticism with Compton a little bit too. Like I liked Compton for the most part. I like Missionary for the most part. Like I don't hate it, but
it's not a bad album.
It's not bad, no. But at the same time, it didn't like impress me. I wasn't like, ooh, it wasn't that.
Yes,
yeah.
Do you think that's because we just hold Dre and the combination of Dre and Snoop in such high regard?
Yes.
To a degree.
You know, if they weren't Snoop and Dre as we know them, and we came in from the multiverse not knowing, we weren't there outside when these initial legendary albums hit, and we heard this, do you think that we'd have a different opinion?
I would say yes, probably. If they were just two random people, then yes, this is a pretty decent project for two random people. But at the same time, like Tyler's project was way better than this.
Oh, I forgot to mention his West Coast.
Yeah. You know, like there have been many albums that came out that were they sounded a lot more closer to what's working right now, but also not from like what's hot standpoint, but just like the stuff that's really good right now, like updated version of it. And it just doesn't. It just sounded just a little bit old.
See, I think this is the perfect way for me to sum it up. Prior to Compton, when I hear Dr. Dre project and his name associated with a project, I'm expecting that project to be on the cutting edge.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Something new and innovative.
Yeah.
Something that I'm not getting from nobody else.
He was the standard at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everything I've heard from to this point since then, it hasn't been that.
I think that's probably part because of the cult, or not the cult, but the allure of Dre, holding back on Detox for so long and just like not really dropping anything. Like he was kind of associated with obviously 50 Cent's record, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But like he was just kind of like this mythical creature for like over a decade. And then when he dropped Compton, like it was good to me.
And that was almost a surprise release though, because we didn't know that was going to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like when it came out, it wasn't like when Detox was ready to drop, when that hype was that was like going to be the thing, like we were waiting for Detox because it was going to be the next great, like that was the standard. And then it just kind of held there. And I think it's just, I don't know if I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
And the thing is, like, we've heard, at this point, we probably heard what was going to be on Detox through everyone.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Because I remember when Jake 1 was here in Indianapolis, and one of the questions I got to ask him is Detox coming? And he's like, hey, I submitted this for it,
Yeah.
So, yeah, from in my eyes, yeah, it's coming. But I think when we heard, what was it, 16 with Andre 3000, and that's probably the record that
I don't think, was that?
Jake, I think that's the one. Didn't Jake? That was Jake 1, right?
No, Three Kings was.
Three Kings. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, that was probably
that record. Yeah,
that was probably the one that was supposed to be on Detox. If I a lot of the stuff that we heard on 50 Cent's first album, those were records that were probably for Detox.
The Game's first album too
was probably for Detox. Like so, we can add all that together and say, yeah, we got Detox. We just got it through like 8 different albums.
But I will say, with that being said, though, I don't feel like Dre has had the pressure on him that would maybe force him to create cutting edge stuff. And I just don't, when I hear his stuff now, like he's not the leader in that anymore. Like maybe from a sound wise, I mean, he always gets the praise from the cleanliness of everything and how it sounds. Yeah, from that aspect. But like musically, like it was good. There were definitely some highlights on there that I thought was super dope. But there were other records I was like, this sounds like Detox. Like this sounds like it could have came out in 2006.
Yeah.
And then there are a few records like that. So I don't know. I mean, I know we're being critical of it, but we're also being critical of it because to your point, Jay, like they are held to a super high standard. You know?
And I'm not even. And the thing is, what it does not sound like is a record made by two 50-year-old grandfathers.
True.
Yeah, you know, I will not, you know, because sometimes you can just hear the age on, you know, when some of our heroes pop back out and do something, you're like,
hear the rust.
Yeah, and I don't hear, especially in Snoop's voice.
Yeah,
like there are parts where I'm hearing Snoop Doggy Dog.
Yeah,
Method Man shine on there too.
Yeah, he did his thing. But you know, and one of my criticisms, and once again, who am I to A&R a Snoop and Dr. Dre record?
Right.
Is like, hey man,
the person that purchases it.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Or streamed it, whatever.
Yeah.
I took time out of my day to listen.
Exactly.
You know, I gave you my 45 to 50 minutes.
These are just opinions.
Hey, man, I would have loved, you know, Warren G and Rage and Corrupt. These
That's
people
it right there.
are still around. Like, I understand it. You know, RBX, you could have like had him on an intro, something.
Yeah,
Jordan.
They dropped that song earlier this year when it was Dog Pound with Lady
with
of Rage,
Rage, yeah.
RBX, and somebody else, and that song was fire.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a nice, you know, when you talk about, okay, you're trying to do something new, but also, you know, establish like, hey, you know, don't forget what we did and who we are. It would have been a nice moment to hear, you know, at least some of that original Death Row roster on this record. You know, don't get me wrong. I mean, I would have taken that over that 50 and Eminem record.
I don't know what was going on with 50's verse on that.
Yeah.
It was weird to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just I haven't heard 50 rap in so long, but I didn't think it was him.
I don't think you heard 50 rap.
Is that what it is?
I think you heard some, just like most of this project.
You mean like somebody else?
Yeah.
I had to literally get up from where I was sitting and walk over to my computer and look, is this 50 Cent? And then I was like, wow, that's...
All right, so this is my opinion. I've heard over the last 10 years, I've heard better projects probably from Snoop and another producer than I've heard, but from him and Dre in this project, man. And that was made me a little bit sad about it. I was like, man, it's like at this point, man, I'd rather hear Snoop and Pharrell than Snoop and Dre.
I don't know if Pharrell would be the one I would choose, but
Pharrell and the Neptunes.
Yeah, only reason, like, so Rhythm and Gangsta, love that album.
That was cold.
Yeah, I even like Bush.
California Roll was my joint.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like,
and who were the producers on these ones?
I think that was all Pharrell.
Yeah, that was all
Pharrell and Neptunes. Yeah.
nah, it was other producers. I went back and spun it back today because I had a really blasphemous take it first beforehand. I had to go back and listen to the project first. Yeah. I was like, all right, I'm tripping.
Yeah, he was about to like when he came into work on Friday. When I was like, I thought it was better than that.
Yeah, blue carpet treatment. Yeah, Snoop has had some really great albums.
Look,
man.
I really like 12 Days of Funk with Dame Funk.
That's fire. Yeah.
It's like not, you know.
Yeah,
I think that's super dope.
His reggae album was dope.
Yeah,
I never listened to that. That's my fault. I never gave it.
He's just like, he's a super talented, and I think that
his gospel album was dope.
His gospel album was fire.
Yeah.
I think that even on this project, like I know we're being critical, but like it was still a pretty decent project.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I wanted a little bit more from it.
Yeah, I think that's our fault though, man, because honestly, these two dudes, we talking about Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre.
Yeah. Snoop
Dogg actually owns Death Row Records now.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre is not hurting for any money. He's in the Billionaire Boys Club.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably just something they just wanted to do. They felt like they wanted to connect. You own Death Row now. Let's do something, you know?
Hey, and I'm with it. That's cool.
I'm cool with that. I think, again, I'm just happy they still doing it and they ain't retired.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this. At the end of the day, I know I've been super critical of the project, et cetera, but thank you for giving us something new, man. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because you didn't have to do it. You could have sat in your vault and we'd have never heard it, just like some of the records that it's been for Detox. So at the end of the day, I'm appreciative for you at least releasing your art to allow it to be critiqued.
It wasn't whack, you know.
And there's a lot of cool collaborations on there, a lot of, you know, writing credits and stuff that I've seen. So, I mean, that's cool.
Jelly Roll having a good year. He was featured on there.
Yeah, Tom Petty.
Yeah.
Sting sounded good on there.
Sting was on there.
Janaea Cole, BJ the Chicago Kid set it off.
I like the BJ Chicago Kid song.
I like the second one.
The second one.
Yeah, he's on there a couple times. But yes, I thought
the Method Man thing was straight.
Yeah.
There was a couple of beat flips in the album that I was like, Now the first part I wasn't really messing with, but when the beat switched, okay,
Do you guys think the project was overproduced?
very much so.
I just think
But you're gonna get that from him.
yeah, it's Dre. I think it's very clean and
To a
crisp.
fault.
Yeah, I mean that's his Achilles heel though. That's probably why he doesn't drop a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because he wants it to sound so well and polished that he holds on to it based on his own producer ear that he doesn't want everybody else to hear it.
Like it's almost do I need a new pair of Beats by Dre? Well, he don't even own that anymore, I don't think. But
They weren't that great of headphones anyway, sound wise.
but
They're bass heavy.
yeah, I do remember the first time I got a hold of something, I was like, okay, the lows are low. But I just listened to it. I was like, I almost felt like I needed to listen to it on a nicer sound system than, streaming, running the Bluetooth connection, in my Ford. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
and maybe I need a sound cabin, to go ahead and run, to run this through. And I almost have to have Dre, like when
EQ your stuff.
Yeah, remember when you had the EQ, you made them run it through. This for the cats in old school had a Winamp. You could listen to your MP3s, and you could adjust that EQ. Or maybe if you was doing it like that, you might have had a equalizer in your car or on your head. Yeah.
Doesn't that kick the llama's ass?
Yes, that's exactly what that does.
Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass.
Or you might have had a rack mount that had its own EQ. I don't know, man.
Back in the 70s,
Yeah, so I mean, back in my era. But yeah, I mean, it almost feels like there's a different preset that you need, when it says on whatever classical, rock, vocal, there needs to be Dr. Dre.
Again, I just wanted it to sound a little bit raw, but again, that's just the selfishness in me. So,
I
Dre
also
literally created the sound precedent when Chronic 2001 came out.
Yeah.
Like, he made
Overcompression.
everything change from that point. When that album came out, everybody else had to kind of polish their sound a little bit better because nothing sounded like that did, as crispy as it was.
I think that's the way it is with everything though, because same thing happened when the Chronic dropped.
Yeah, because honestly, it was just for a record with all the vocals and the samples, it was as clean as a Michael Jackson record. It was the first rap record you heard that was probably as clean as a Michael Jackson record.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also want to give shine to like the cabinet of producers that work with Dr. Dre, man, that have over the years, you know what I mean? Like Focus, Hitman, yeah, DJ Khalil, all them cats out west,
Scott
man.
Storch.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's got a pool. And I'm pretty sure that there was, Fred Wreck.
I forgot about Fred Wreck.
Denon Porter for a minute.
Yeah.
I think High Tech even.
That's who sound I'm missing.
Yeah.
That's who I need. I think the world needs some
More High Tech.
more high tech, man. The other day I was just listening to the G Unit intro.
You know my favorite high tech, one of my favorite. Get in my car by 50 Cent.
Yes, sir.
I don't like the content of that song.
I do.
I was like, even in my 20s, I was like, but that beat.
Yeah. Yeah, the world needs Mr. Cincinnati.
Yeah.
The world needs you.
Midwest makes the world go around musically.
Very
There
much
you
so.
go.